We're kind of dark right now because I don't know, I just feel like I really need I need to let some feelings out, I guess. So here's the rundown. It's exactly 2 months since I've made it clear to my parents that by their continuous trauma and abuse towards me, I no longer want to be around them. I think the words I used were, I need a little break from everyone right now. So I didn't say that I wouldn't come around again. I just said, So, I guess I should take that as you said, you said you would see them again. When though? When was it? How long? I always put this date down as a possibility, my birthday is in February. There's a good chance that they might reach out to me. And, they still had a couple days, but my dad texts me. Of course, my dad. I'm in contact with my dad, somebody I've never really just been if I needed to talk to him, I'd call him. It'd probably be for something. It'd be for a reason. I'd call him. But we've never just he's never been my point of contact. Let's just say that. And he is the only person that I have talked to since, because him and I had plans on the Wednesday after they did something that really kind of hurt me. That next Wednesday, we had plans to go to my parents' house, me and my daughters, to go kind of set up Christmas at my parents' house, my childhood home. The home that, I was raised in, and that, going back to your childhood home where you have experienced tremendous amounts of trauma is, over time, it's kind of rough, but it makes it worse when they've allowed your just manipulative, narcissistic brother to move back in. So it's their son. What are you gonna do? For one, you don't want to go there. You don't want to go there, especially now. And then when you go and you do something that just really is just so backstabbing to me. These are my parents. Anyways, so I don't know if I'm making any sense to you, but let me just keep going. My dad texted me that couple days, so after everything kind of went down, a couple days later, he was just like, so am I gonna see you on Wednesday? And then that's when I was just like, I really just I need a break from everyone right now. Or maybe I said I'm not gonna be seeing anybody for a while. Merry Christmas. I did say that. This was around December 10th at this point. No, I think it was the 12th. I think it was my brother's birthday. my oldest brother. I like him. So, you know, they didn't make any contact with me from that point on. I didn't hear from, I heard from other family members just because that we had already planned, you know, like our immediate family Christmas gathering, you know. So I think they were all pretty aware that I wasn't going. And I mean, of course, the ones that wanted to reach out to me, my three brothers, they did. And they, you know, asked me if I was going and whatnot. But I indeed did not go. And then, you know, Christmas came and I didn't hear from my parents. Anyways, New Year's, which I really think about it, and just as much as they don't want to contact me, like, I don't want them to contact me. You know, just as much as, like, all my life I've just wondered, like, or especially later in life, like, why aren't they, like, calling me or, like, reaching out to me, or, like, why don't they ever just call me? You know, and I don't know. My brothers, or one brother, seems to just think that they're afraid of me. I think he actually said they're scared of you. Like, maybe they feel like you're bothering them. And I'm just like, I have never, like, I'm not the type of person that's just like, I gotta go, I'm so busy. Like, oh my God, like, no. Anytime my parents call, I make time for them. No. Maybe what he means by that is that they just don't want to deal with me. Like, they don't want to deal with Jessica, the person that, sorry to say it, they created. I am extremely outspoken. I say whatever the fuck is on my head, which is most of the time terrible. It has gotten me in trouble my entire life, but I am me. This is who I am. So, you know, I know that they don't want to contact me. That I'm the child that has to like the one that is like yearning and needing love the most. They're like terrified of it. They are terrified of what I'm doing. They're terrified of going against just years of conditioning. They don't want to go against it. That scares them. That's not comfortable for them. They'd like to just continue enabling abusers and looking the other way, and if that means just being unavailable for me as parents, as humans who love me and know how to make me feel important. Years ago, I overheard my dad having a conversation with, I don't know if it was like one of my aunts or my uncles. And it was right around the time that I was going through my separation. But this was not right now. This was not 5 years ago. I'm talking about when my marriage first began. I made some mistakes, and I don't know, things were kind of a mess from the get-go. Maybe from both angles, but and I was very young then. You know, I was like 20, 21. And so about 10 years ago. You know, I remember him, like, I remember them asking or kind of insinuating, like, but Jessica is so, like, I mean, yeah, everyone knows I'm crazy. I mean, they know that I'm like a typical, like, girl, I guess you could say. But my dad said, you know, for one, he always said, Jessica's a difficult person to live with. But then he also used this word neurotic. And I never bothered to look it up. For me, neurotic just meant, like, what did it mean to me? Like, when I first heard that word, I think it just meant, like, neurotic. What does neurotic mean? To me, regardless of what I know about the word, what it actually means, like, neurotic. I don't know. I think I was like convinced that it meant like that I worried too much or something. Or like, I don't actually know. And now that I'm really thinking about it, like, I actually think I forgot the definition. I actually don't think I even know what neurotic means. Okay, I'm gonna just quickly do a little. Okay, so recently I decided to look this damn word up. I was like, you know what? What is this neurotic stuff? What is he talking about? And you know what? We're gonna find out together what neurotic means. Sorry. I think I spelled it right. Just fucking reading it, like, why would this fool call me that? Like, why as a parent, like, why would you ever use, if there's any reason why I am neurotic, and then when I read the definition, I tried to convince myself, like, no, he didn't say neurotic. Like, there's no way that your dad would say the word neurotic about you. Yeah, I'm gonna read the definition right now. So I just need to chill for a second because like if you know these things about somebody, like why wouldn't you try to help them? Like, was I helpless? Like, was I was I like a lost cause? Like, I think he was just seriously just gonna try to marry me off and hope to be done with me. I think he was kind of like, she's yours now. She's your problem now. And then he was like, no, she's not. She's her own damn problem. You know, let's just do it. I am not this fucking definition though. Like, this definition does not, it isn't who I mean, whatever. You get what I'm trying to say. Like, oh, I spelled it wrong. Oh, yep. Nope. There's no getting around it. Whether you want to spell it N-E-U or N-A-R. It's all going to lead you back to mentally ill, mentally disturbed, mentally deranged, unstable, unbalanced, maladjusted, psychopathic. It's just like, neurosis is a class of functional mental disorders involving chronic distress, but neither delusions nor hallucinations. Like, it's unbelievable, like, how much I understand what this is saying to me. Chronic distress. Like, to think that my dad knows me, like, actually knows me, and isn't just like, I mean, he never accepted me, whether he knows me or not. He never accepted me. He never accepted me from probably when I first began being abused, because he probably noticed that there was something wrong with me. So, and then I think he immediately had any intentions on, like, excuse me, on like being close with me or trying to help me with this. What happened is I had like a deep want for my dad to accept me and love me. Like, my dad loves musicals. He loves Disney. He loves show tunes. He loves, like, I would constantly just like try to like just know everything that he was about. And if that meant like I don't know, like if that meant like I think I've been manipulated since a very young age, like including my dad. Like to the point that like how like the dad is the person that everybody you want to make this person happy. Like dad has to be comfortable, you know what I mean? Like, and it wasn't different in my household, where, it was always like, we got to make sure dad's happy. And I mean, that's kind of shitty. Like, I don't agree with that. I think that everybody should be fairly, treated. The dad is not some tyrant who has his own chair. But I still wanted so badly to be accepted by him and to, like, because I was so proud of him. Like, my dad was so inspiring to me. He was just such a strong individual. Like, he just seemed like he just knew it all, had it all, lived a life of fulfillment. He made me believe that. And because he made me believe that, I wanted to be around the guy. I did. I desperately wanted to go to his school, and, he was a teacher. He was a coach. He was very involved in his work with, students and kids and, basically kids my age. Not my age right now, but when I was growing up, I mean, actually to the point of he worked on the other side of town, on the more on the west side. He worked on the richer side of town, and we lived on the east side. So, we had always gone to school on that side of town. So, when I was in elementary school, this was a junior high. So there was no even debate whether I'd, go to school on the east side or not. Of course, I went to our home school, which is right down the street from our house. So there was never any talk about that. And third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade were literally the hardest times. I know that sounds crazy. That sounds absolutely stupid. Like, really? But I'm being completely honest. Like, that is where, like, how that set the precedent for the rest of my life. Like, just what happened how I reacted, like what my life, like who I became, just what became comfortable for my life, and so on. So, of course, like in 4th grade, I was pretty terrible. 3rd grade, in 3rd grade, that's when I had told the person that was abusing me no for the first time, and I walked out of his room and went home. And then he, either that night or within the next day or two, I don't even recall, him and a few other gangbanger type of people tagged up our entire neighborhood. And the way that they found this out was, I guess my mom had woken up in the middle of the night and she looked outside and she saw my neighbor and another neighbor down the street. Everyone on my block could vouch for this shit. They wrote fuck N-words on my house. It was stupid stuff. It wasn't, but it was like during that craze. Maybe it's still a thing. I don't know. I do remember going to school and being so upset, but I was really upset because I just felt so guilty, like that it was my fault, that I had done something, or that if I had just said yes, then that wouldn't have happened. But anyways, that passed. I was also abused by my brother during that time. So 4th grade came, and at this point, 4th grade, I don't know. I've said it a few times that my mom actually told me, like, quite some time later, maybe about 5 years ago, that my 4th grade teacher told her that, I think it's because I actually mentioned to her that, like, if Isabel or Ava were to have, like, ADD or something like that I don't know if I would want them to be, like, on Ritalin or any type of, like, medications or anything like that. Like, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I'm already somebody who's pretty against anything like that. Like, I'm not saying that I didn't vaccinate my kids. I'm not saying that. It's because I'm with somebody who wouldn't let me, but no. Or I was with somebody who wouldn't let me. No, but I'm not somebody who's ever taken medicine. Like, if I don't feel good, like, I don't just mask it with medicine. Like, I just try to do, like, natural shit to help the situation. But so, I think I had mentioned that, and then all of a sudden she's like, yeah, Mrs. Harper told me that in one of, like, a little meeting that we had about you, probably when I was, like, fucking up or something. Actually, that wasn't my bad year either. 4th grade wasn't as bad. 5th grade was terrible. But so I guess she told her that, like, I don't know what her words were exactly, but it was like, like, Jessica might benefit from maybe, some type of, like, medication to help her, like, calm down. like to try to stay focused more in class. And I guess like the whole purpose of it was that she needs to become very good at school, or she's not gonna amount to anything in her life. Supposedly. This is what my 4th grade teacher told my mom. And I'm not making this shit up either. I hope she fucking hears this and tries to say any different, because I know she wouldn't. She told me this shit. I'm not making any of this up. Maybe it was delusion. Maybe it was a delusion. Maybe it was hallucination. Maybe it was chronic distress maybe I made that up. Maybe my mom didn't tell me that. Maybe I'm just making all this up. So anyways, in 5th grade, so many things happened in 5th grade. Like, not only was I had a teacher who had every one of my brothers, literally called me by my last name, because that's what he called all of my brothers, and that's what people called the kids in our family. So, you know, I was just, even though I was a girl, like, I was still just like, it's because I wasn't like a normal girl. I was like a tomboy. I was just like rough. I was just like, always like, even like, I remember my teachers at a young age, like I would be joking with them like this, like they would tell me something and I would just be like come on, like, or I'd be like messing with them, like, no, remember you said this, or you know, I would just literally, I remember just so many of my teachers, like especially this 5th grade teacher, like I gave this fool such a hard time, like, but I think he genuinely liked me. Like all of these teachers who, there were some really important people who really spent a lot of time trying to show me that I was important and that I was worth it. Like it's crazy. You know, this teacher who had, and you know, it's crazy. This teacher would tell me like, when my oldest brother had him, I was just being born. And I guess he had a really hard time with that. You know, he would tell me like, yeah, your brother would come home and he would, you know, he was like the track star at the time, and you know, playing basketball, and you know, you would just take up all the attention. And I think he was just telling me that shit just to make me feel like I was loved or something. So anyways, 5th grade, it was literally the hardest times of my life. I got like, I got in trouble so much that I couldn't stop talking. I couldn't stop being disruptive in class, that he had to put me behind a cabinet, like one of those wardrobes, like where you hang your like backpacks and stuff in the classroom. Yeah, he had to like set my desk up where the doors were open to the wardrobe, and he would just post up my work, and I would be like literally inside of that thing. Like he would, to let me go to recess and shit, he would have to like move my desk, or move the whole entire, it was like a rolling wardrobe. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, this fool would have to do that. And I mean, my mom came in and sat with me for a week. I remember that week. Then for another thing, I got like in-house suspension. Probably, I think I was like trying to fight some 4th grader or something. I don't know. Or, gosh, what else did I do terrible? Kicked somebody in the balls a couple times or something. No, not my teacher this time, but this was these are actually actual kids, like boys that are probably bothering me. Um, you know, I mean, I sucked at school because like I was just like an average, like C average student because I just like, they probably just passed me just because they knew like I was a smart person, but I just did not, I was not present during any of those lectures. I was not like sitting there going, okay, let me just sit here and listen to these people. Whatever they're teaching me, I need to keep in my mind and remember all of these things. No, it was, I don't even know. Like I was just there, just like daydreaming or something, or trying to talk to my friends, or writing standards to sell to people. I did that. I mean, I had to write the standards because like, of course I knew like I would end up getting standards all the fucking time. So I just like had them already like pre-made out. And then I started selling them to people. And then he caught on to that and he was like, he changed it. He changed like the wording, like a couple words. So he knew like, nah, you got to write all that over if you're about to, your business is shut down. So then, so fifth grade, you know, my elementary went up to sixth grade. And then the junior high was seventh and eighth grade. My dad's school though was sixth, seventh, and eighth. So that means in fifth grade, it was really important for me to be good, to get good grades. Pretty sure I had a D, and that supposedly, that D, it made me lose my chances. So, you know, already it made me lose my chances to go to my dad's school. That's what I'm referring to, that I wanted nothing more than to go to my dad's school. Like, I wanted to be with him there. I wanted to be Mr. Conrad's daughter. Like, I was so proud of him. Like, why couldn't he be proud of me? I'm literally just like him. Like, everything. So I can't go to his school. So sixth grade comes and I stay at my elementary, and I think I got worse. Just, you know, at that point, it was the schedule that they did was we actually switched teachers. Like you'd go from like, you know, to have a math teacher, you'd have, and that wasn't something you did in fifth grade. You stayed with one teacher. So, you know, I had a bunch of teachers. You know, I had like 5 teachers that we, you know, it was like a roving teacher kind of thing. And that gave me like 5 chances to be like just terrible. And I'm not like, I wasn't terrible. I was just a pain in the ass. Like I didn't care about anything. So I definitely sealed my fate in 6th grade when I decided I'm in detention in one of the 5th grade rooms. So the 5th grade teacher is hosting detention during recess. So who knows what the fuck I did to get into detention. While in detention, I found a Sharpie marker in this girl's desk and her ID. I remember this chick. I remember this girl. And I wrote bitch on her ID. And I guess her friend was sitting behind me, or somebody who knew her, or somebody who ratted me out. And so they definitely almost, like, they sat down with me, the principal. I mean, like, it was pretty bad. I definitely was suspended, like, out of school suspension. That definitely, yeah. He had actually told me many times, like, as I was just like, I mean, and you can imagine being a 5th and 6th grader, like, Dad, can I please go to your school? Like, come on, I'll be so good. You know, just, I can imagine what I was doing, what I was saying, like, every day, or probably bothering him until he probably fucking blew up at me and yelled at me and told me that he didn't want me to embarrass him. I don't think it was my grades. I don't think he always used that as an excuse. Like, okay, well, we'll see what the report card says. It was never about my fucking report card. It was never about my report card. It was about that he was embarrassed of me. That there's no way that you could deny that I was a mentally stable person, apparently. Like, he knew so young. This is not something that he realized within the past couple of years. He was genuinely, like, he did not want to be embarrassed by me. Those were his words. I think even at the time, like, I was super accepting of that answer too. I was super accepting of all that. I don't know. He later apologized to me. Maybe about 4 years ago, he told me, you know, I wonder if things would have been different if you would have went to my school. You know, maybe we would have been closer, but then he quickly tries to say, but then you wouldn't have known, you know, all your friends. You wouldn't have, you know, had your lifelong friends, these, you know, my 2 best friends, and you would have never have met your, you know, my husband. I would have never have been able to have my daughters. You know, and I'm just like, immediately I was like, Dad, no, like, this is the way that it was supposed to be. Like, yes, I don't know. I don't know what my life would be if I would have went to his school. I maybe wouldn't have gone to the high school that I ended up going to. Maybe I would have went to the high school on the west side after going to junior high over there. You know what I mean? He could have taken me to high school too and dropped me off. Like, but I don't know though. Anyways. My dad reached out to me today and he said, would you like to get together for your birthday? Which is also the brother that I truly think needs help. It's his birthday. Born the same day. Share a birthday. Not a single picture of me blowing out my candles alone. Just a constant reminder that it's me or him. I really don't know what to say to my dad. Like, I'm kind of just like, that's why I'm on here. That's why I'm just like, I think I'm gonna just give him what he wants. I think I'm actually gonna just go and be somebody completely different. I'm just gonna be like completely closed off and not myself. And I'm not doing that to fucking spite them, or I'm not doing it to be like, this is what you get now from me. But honestly, like, I don't want to give them me anymore. There's so many people that want me, that want energy, that want goodness. They're not them. They want me to just sit there and be pretty and not say anything that affects them mentally. And you know what? Maybe that's what I just need to do. That I just need to just keep it real, like we're just acquaintances. I'm gonna go now. I think I need to. I need to go. I'll just talk to you guys later. Thank you for listening to me.